Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. Yesterday we got a NPC added into the game here. He's just this villager guy. Right now he just walks off screen. But if we walk off screen, we crash here on the entity idle state because he doesn't have a direction. So, hey Prosto, what's up, dude? How's it going? The entity idle state doesn't have a field of a direction for this guy, so maybe if we give him the direction upon the instantiation, maybe it won't crash there. I don't exactly know. So we can say, hey, walk right. Now, the trigger here for the idle state to the walk state, okay, well that's good. So it doesn't crash there anymore, and he'll always just spawn there. And he's actually doing damage against us. Entity walk state, compare nil with a number. So there's some, yeah, we got some dude on screen now, and he's walking. I don't get why we crashed when he did damage to us. Let's see if we can recreate that. Yeah, entity walk state. Attempt to compare nil with a number. So there's something in the logic of it's probably because we didn't give him health. So there's a weird, we'll have to split up our entity system so that it's not, I guess I'm trying to say like geckos are an entity that has health and has hit detection that will hurt our player if we collide with. So that's why we are actually getting hurt. So let's just see if we are doing the collision for an entity walk state. I don't really see where we're doing. Oh, and you know what? I think we're checking our player if we collide with an entity. Let's see. No. This is the thing with game dev that I'm, very new to still, which is just like bigger picture orchestration for how the code is kind of living. You have a few entity collections, players, portals, mobs, NPCs, environment. Yeah. So I think that's what I need to do. I think I need to make a NPC entity instead of, right now the entity I'm doing is doing the collision for the getting hurt by colliding and everything. We should instead make NPCs non-walk throughable, right? So like we're not able to push them, which is different than geckos because the geckos kind of bounce back. That was weird. So I think we might need to split up our entity system. Let's take a look at our entity. Now, entity, that we should probably rename this to be called enemy entity or something, and then give us an NPC entity. For some reason, my stream came unmuted there, so I got some double voice there. So we've got. Oh my gosh. Okay, so for an entity, we've got a straight up collides function. We've got a fire spell collides. We've got a left collides with map object and then all the sides. Okay, so here's where the entity update, if our enemy is damage flashing, then we'll become flashing over time. I'm trying to see where we're trying to say this is jacked up. This is hard for me to wrap my head around because I don't know where this logic should live. Like, where does the particle system for the gecko live? Does it make sense it lives in the entity class here? Because it feels so weird to me. Because if we have like 5 other enemy entity types, we would just update the particle system based on the type. Or I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to wrap my head around this stuff because I think I'm at the point in the game where this is the most complex game I've ever built. So I'm kind of like in that zone of haven't built anything more complex than this. So moving forward, everything is just tricky. I'm trying to find where our entity is colliding with our player. So okay. So yeah, we loop through all of our entities, and we're checking for the collision for getting hurt here. So I guess what we would do is say like, yeah, I think the move is to really pull out NPCs into their own class. So that we don't have to see, and that's weird because right now the entities are being rendered, they're being placed in the map table. So like if we check out where we put them in over here in map declarations. We kind of right here we're giving ourselves 4 geckos on the map 7-3 entities. So we kind of just give a table on our map and we place in all the gecko entities in there, and then we give ourselves 1 villager entity of type entity right here into the same dot entities. So right here in our map, player to entity collision, we're cycling through all of our entities. We're taking that entity and we're checking if it is corrupted. This is weird. Okay. If the enemy is corrupted, then when we collide with it, it'll hurt. So maybe we just maybe we can just give our NPC a non-corrupted, because I think by default our entity actually is corrupted. I guess it's let up to being defined. Okay, so let's try to make our NPC non-corrupted and see if that prevents us from colliding with them. I would think we'd be able to walk over him at that point, but let's see. We'll come here to our villager and say corrupted, false. And we'll see if we can get hurt by him. Damn it, you son of a... It's set on a random time to start walking. Okay, yeah, see, that's what I thought would happen is we walk through, because it's essentially the same as the geckos once they're cleansed. Once they're cleansed, we can't collide with them. So, I guess we can add some, if they're not corrupted, we add some AABB collision and just make sure we don't collide with a gecko. I guess we can do that. I mean, ideally we can't. So the thing I'm a little stumped on is if we can't if we do collide with an NPC, we shouldn't be able to stop them. So if they're walking off screen, they should just kind of continue to walk, right? But that would mean that they'd be able to push us. So maybe we don't do that, because I only imagine errors happening if we let them push us. So maybe if they collide with us, then I guess, gosh, yeah. I guess we have to decide upon a collision, do we move our player or do we move their player? Either option, either they're allowed to push us or we're allowed to push them. I'm not exactly sure how to go about that. Now, we are able to give like a different direction to our entity here, so we can kind of choose which way he walks and everything. Yeah, dude, this part is really tough. Like I'm starting to grasp just how tough it is. I'm glad I started with like a little 2D game like this, because this stuff is really tough. And the dialogue system is, I've been trying to think about how to pull that off, and I'm really quite stumped on it. Because once we have NPCs, you know, we're going to add the dialogue system, and that's a whole nother deal. So I think what I want to do, is give this entity some AI logic and just have him walk like in a little square. So he doesn't walk off screen, and then we can just test and make sure that all his animations are working. So we do have in our entity class, we have a process AI that comes in from the state machine. So if we look at the entity walk state, we should have a process AI right here for the entity walk state. So we are giving our entity type. Okay. So right now we're giving some geckos the AI logic, right? Where it's saying like, hey, see where Tashio is compared to our gecko, and change their direction depending on where Tashio's direction is, so that they walk towards Tashio. So maybe we can try to add in some, if self-type villager, self.entity type is equal to the villager, then we would want to do some sort of AI for that. Now, let's make sure when we declare him, we give him a type, and we don't. So we can say that type gets villager here. Villager 1. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. Villager 1 as a type. Now let's look at our entity class real quick and just make sure we're allowing a type. We must be, because we have a gecko type. Yeah. So we're giving ourselves a type of villager 1, and then let's go here and say villager 1. If we're of type of villager 1, then let's try to add some logic here. So I guess we could, if we want him to just walk in like a square, we would take, we'd have to have a reference to what his current direction is, and have a sort of a way to increase the index of which direction he's in, so that he's always going, if he's, you know, it depends if we want him walking clockwise or counterclockwise. So if he's walking counterclockwise and his direction's up, he'd always want to turn left. And then if he's direction left, we'd want to go down from there, and then we'd want to go right from there, and then back to up. So I guess we'd have to either say, hey, this villager always starts facing down, so he would always walk down and then kind of loop through the directions until he gets to the beginning. So like, let's just say here, now our process AI runs in the entity state, I believe. Where do we run this process AI? Is this in the update function? No. The update function's up here. Okay, so when do we actually run this process AI? It's just part of the state machine. It's just a function. This is a little confusing to me. We have it defined here as an entity process AI. Oh, okay. So let's see in the entity walk state here if we run this. No? Man, okay, what is going on? Entity. Okay, here it is. In the map. In the map, we're going ahead and we're processing all the AI for all of our entities. So we are doing that regardless, and that's in our map. See, like this sort of structuring the game is still really confusing to me. It's like why is the entity processing its AI in the map? I guess it kind of makes sense because the map is what holds all the entities. So I guess that makes sense, but it's still just like not so clear in my brain if that's a good idea. So if we put in certain logic here for process AI, that gets ran every second. So I think we would want to give ourselves, I don't know the way to do this. Because we'd have to be able to say, we'd have to be able to trigger a certain timer for, okay, now you're in idle state. And then, hey, you're back in walk state, and your direction is incremented by 1, which will loop you, so that you're always going counterclockwise. So we might need a table of a clockwise direction or something like that, and then we can index that stuff. Oh, I guess, gosh, I don't know if it would make sense to put it as part of the walk state. I guess it does. We can call it a table of clock or counterclockwise directions. And let's assume we start all of our entities facing down. You have states for this. Okay, that does kind of make sense. If you want to check last... Oh, gotcha. In yours. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it would make sense to have like a NPC walk state or something instead of an AI. I guess that does make sense. Yeah. Because then we can say, instead of this idle and walk state, well, then we can just... That kind of makes sense. Yeah, let's go about that, Prosto. We should do that. Instead of doing this entity update, we should have an NPC walk state or something. And then instead of switching... I guess the only thing I'm confused wouldn't work is that... Yeah. Okay. What do you mean unload? Load, update, unload? I don't know what unload means. But I guess we would have to do... What's nice about this walk state is that we're setting the direction, or we're changing the animation based on the direction. Yeah, okay. I think, Prosto, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think this is the way to do it, is to give, like, instead of the entity walk state checking whether or not the type is of gecko or villager, we would instead just have a gecko aggro state, and a villager walking state or whatever. That does make sense to me. So let's add a different state here. The only thing is that yeah, we would have to do a bunch of the same kind of stuff, which is like we have to give. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. We can do it. Let's do that. We'll add another state here, and we'll call it NPC walk state. Okay. So if there's our state, we need to make sure we're requiring it. You know, Proso, I think that's exactly how I need to be thinking about it. It'll make so much more sense than to kind of do some conditional branching inside the entity walk state. That makes a lot more sense to me. So NPC walk, or what do we call it? NPC walk state. Okay. Just make sure we don't crash. And we crash. NPC walk state. Okay. So if we change to... Now, I guess I don't know if we should trigger an idle state after every couple seconds. We could add in okay. So at least what we need to do, we know we need to create these animations. Well, actually, no, we define our animations already, so that should be okay. But all we need to make sure we change our animation based on our direction, and we change our right here, like change our animation based on our direction and change our position based on our direction, so that we can say, hey, set your direction, start walking for the amount of time, and then change back to idle state, and then inherit your next direction, and then update and walk that direction, and then kind of go from there. So in our declarations here, we need to, instead of giving this entity walk state, we would want, okay, yeah, we probably need an NPC idle state as well, because our entity idle state changes to an entity walk state. So we would either need to check the type in the entity idle state or just give ourselves an NPC idle state too, which is probably the move. So let's do that. NPC idle state, NPC walk state. Yeah, we need to make this folder, or this file. Okay, so we've got these two new states for our NPC. We need to make sure we are updating their X and Y position based on direction. And we need to make sure we are changing their animation based on direction as well. So if we look at what it's like to do that, we are just doing something like this. Actually, we should be able to take most of this. So we inherit the entity from the class here, or not inherit, but we pass it through. So if we make sure that we pass in what entity needs to be updated here, and we put that as our own entity, then we can also say that our entity's direction gets pulled in from our entity's direction. Okay. So let's just see. Oh, and this is idle state. So this should be all these walks should be just idle. That's wrong. That is wrong. Sweet, Prosto. I'll check that stuff out. Thank you, dude. Because yeah, I am, this is by far the most complex thing I've tried to build. So I do think I need some help at some point, at least in terms of conceptualizing how to do this. Thanks, man. Okay, we have an entity walk speed that we define, so that should be okay. And then let's take a look at how we're rendering our entity idle and just make sure there's no surprises there. Yeah, very simple. Okay, so what we do is we call an anim of whatever our current animation on our entity is, and then we render from the atlas at the quad the animation current frame at the X position and Y position of the entity. So if we look at our map declaration here, and we see that we give ourselves an entity, let's call this NPC walk and NPC idle, and I kind of want idle to be first. We have one villager entity, and that entity has a state called NPC idle that renders. So as long as we set our villager to have the state of this oh lordy, of this NPC idle, then hopefully all that should do is just let's look at it like all it does is when we update that state, it updates its position. See, and this is for the walk state, not for the idle state. So I think I want this stuff to be in the walk state. Okay, so walk state looks right. Now all we want to do for the entity idle is we actually just want to change our entity's animation based on whatever direction we're on. So we will change the animation to be whatever idle direction we are. So we have our direction. Now we want to change it to the idle tack, and then here's where we would concatenate the direction that we are, which is self entity. And actually, then we can just call this self direction. Okay, so we're gonna concatenate whatever direction we are to a string so that if we're facing down, we would change animation to idle down, and then vice versa for all the other directions. But we have to do a ... here to concatenate and then close our function for our change animation. Oopsie. Okay. So all our idle state should be doing is just changing our animation to be whatever direction our entity is. So we are not walking. Well, ideally this is all deleted because we don't need to update our idle state until we actually add a timer to change it to start walking. So I'm hoping that if we change to this NPC idle state, all we do is just sit there, right? So map declarations, we change to NPC idle right here, which is this idle state that we're working. So let's see if we crash. Okay. State machine 52 cannot enter. NPC idle. Change state, NPC idle. Let me check, see how we have to include the base state for the state machines. So we have to do that a little different. We have to do the includes base state. So we'll make sure that our NPC idle state takes in that base state, and same with our walk state. Okay. So now all we should be doing is change into the idle state, which just idles there. And we don't have process AI. We're calling process AI on every entity, and since we're in a state machine that is not calling process AI, is that right? No. I think we need to give process AI in our state. So for right now, we can just make this do nothing. You could always attach default set of states like idle, hurt, dying. Yeah, I think we'll get to that when we're doing all the enemy entity stuff. Because we might want to do something similar, like when we're triggering talking for the dialogue system, we might want to do that for the NPCs. But we need this function called process AI in our actual entity because we update it for every entity. So if it doesn't exist, it doesn't know how to run that function. So we need this function. Even if we don't do anything in it, I think that might... No. Oh, this needs to be called the correct thing. Okay. Okay. He's idling. Now we should be able to just walk over him. What we do want to do is probably start locking. Where are we saying that he's idle up? Is that in the entity def? No, in the map declarations. We're changing it to be direction up. So let's change him to direction left just to make sure his idle is working correctly. So he's never triggering to an entity walk. Now we probably don't want to be doing this with geckos running all around here. It's just for testing purposes. So let's shit. What did we fail on there? Let's move this guy over to the left, so we will be on the 7th row, but the 2nd space. So we'll put him over on the main place here. I think that's okay, and then we just need to go to our player spawn and just make sure we're at 7.2 instead of 7.3. Let's see. Okay, 252. What? Map declarations 252. Seven two. Oh, right here. We can put all this stuff in here. What is happening? There. Okay, hoping we don't crash. Okay, well, yeah, he's in the wrong spot, but he's at least idling. So let's put him over different location here. So in our entity defs, I think we give him right in the center of... Yeah, see, this is wrong. We should just leave this out and then set it here to be equal to whatever we want. So we can say, I don't know, 150 maybe, and 200. Okay, well, I don't know where you went. Probably off screen. I want him in the bottom right there. Let's... Okay. You know what? Yeah, we'll just scoot him over to the right of us. Okay. Okay. So if he's right there, he's in his idle state. I guess we kind of want to stop. You know, we want to detect collision with any NPC, and maybe instead of, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking we need to put NPCs in our own NPC table, because our entity table is holding like our geckos and stuff, and we're doing a lot of rendering based on if they're corrupted or not. Like, an NPC is uncorruptible, so we should probably put it in its own table and then render our NPCs separate if they exist. That way we don't get them muddied up with our entity logic. So let's do that. Let's instead put, we'll have an NPC table where we're putting in this entity. What am I doing? Exactly, Prosto. Yeah, it's just gonna get really weird. Especially because we do a lot of specific things for enemies that we don't do for NPCs. So I think it's just a weird, you know, it's kind of messy, but you kind of have to do it unique like that, I guess. So we need, every one of our maps has to have an empty table for our NPC to hold it, and then we need to also update all of our NPCs in our NPC table in the map update, I believe, and then also render every NPC in the NPC table. So block entities, not participate, just use to spawn particles. Okay, yeah, that's cool. We do want there's a part, gosh, we need to clean this up. Oi, we need to clean this up. Okay, here. So we're gonna give each one of our maps a NPC table that is empty, so that we can insert our NPCs into there. I would put an S here, but NPCS looks weird, so I'll just have it NPC. So right now it won't render because he's not in the entity table. So wherever we go and update all of our entities, I think that's in our map, we would want to also update our NPCs. So let's go to our map. Let's see when we do. Oh, and then we have to make sure, well, yeah, it probably should be called NPCs because there's, well, now that I'm thinking about it, there isn't many instances where I'm imagining that there would be more than one NPC on the same screen. Like, most of all, NPCs are going to be more sparse than animals and stuff. So I don't know. That's the great thing about like programming, is like it's literally you just make all the rules, or you know, within the limitations, but you get to basically call all the shots. Okay, so we update. Okay, geez. Okay, So we need to update every NPC in the table. Yeah, there's a bunch of different stuff that my game kind of does. I mean, everyone's got their own style, right? So it's like your type of shortcut is probably different than my type of shortcut, just because we're just different in expressing ourselves. So here's where we're updating the entity. So we need to update all of our NPCs. So if we look at where we're getting this entity count, where are we doing that? Okay, so we would need like an NPC count. Same idea. Oh. No, you're not being annoying, man. Yeah. You're always welcome to come in and chat. Yeah, especially because like you're super you do Lua programming and stuff, so your take is always helpful to me. Like we wouldn't be doing these other states if you didn't come in here and suggest that, you know? Which this is definitely the way to do it now that I'm thinking about it. Like it is just much better. So here we're updating all our entities only if we're not shifting our scene, which makes sense. So let's do the same sort of deal here where we're going to loop through all of our NPCs. And just to make the code nicer to read, we do this where we say self.row, self.column. Yeah. No, I think this makes a lot of sense to me. This is one thing I was trying to figure out, you know. I mean, I've been trying to figure this out. This makes a lot of sense to me. Okay, I just want to make sure our entity class has a dot off screen field, but we basically want to say NPC update with delta time here. So this should be updating all the NPCs we have in the current map, as long as that NPC is not off screen. So let's double check our entity has off screen. Yes, it does. Okay. So, you know, we don't want to worry about updating the NPC if they've walked off screen, and we don't want to worry about rendering them if they walked off screen. So it's nice to have that field. Yeah, go ahead, Prosto. Okay. Yeah, I think with semantic naming like that, I think anytime, gosh, my friend was just telling me about this. I think anytime you have like a significant update, that's when the first number would update. And then I think anytime you're, gosh, dude, I don't know. It is really just preference. I know, like, I've seen it with like 3 numbers, right? So like 0, 0, 0 or whatever. And anytime you do like a feature, that's when you would increment that last digit. So like if you add in a new feature, go ahead and bump that digit up, that rightmost digit. And then anytime you kind of feel like you're at like a version of the app, then update the second digit, or yeah. That works too. It's like you said, totally preference. I think anytime you add a new feature, bump up that last digit, and then anytime you have enough features to make a different version, then you can bump up that 1.0, 2.0 or whatever. I think, and then there's like, and then if there's like a bigger one on top of that, like make a new release, or like you can bump up, you can have the 3 digits. That's something I'm still trying to figure out too. Because the build I have for Tashio on the GitHub right now is 1.0. This next one, I don't know if it'll be 1.1. I guess it makes sense because it's just the next one, but it's quite different than the 1.0. I think I want to do the 3 digits, like 1.0.0. I think that's how I want to do it. And then I probably wouldn't increment the 1 until it's like, yeah, I don't know if I would increment the 1. So maybe, I guess it would just be just the 2 digits. I don't know. So we're going to cycle through how many NPCs we have in our current map. If the NPC is not off screen, we're going to go ahead and render it at the adjacent offset X, which will then scroll them off screen if we happen to be shifting. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I would say if you're at 26, you're probably at a 0.1 or 0.1.0. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I would say if you have over 20 features, you're probably at a middle decimal bump, right? And then anytime you're pushing up on, like, I don't know. It's just preferences, man. Yeah, you'll have to figure it out. Yeah. What tool is it? It's a tool for Lua? Look at. We're rendering our NPC now. Okay, cool. So now this guy exists outside of the entity table. So now we shouldn't have to use the process AI in the NPC idle, because we're no longer updating the process AI. I would think. Yeah, okay, cool. So that doesn't crash. So that works. So let's just try to what up, Elemental? How's it going? Exporting a model into Lua and using it to build models in game. Dude, that sounds awesome. Is Blockbench a 3D modeling thing? I've never used it. Okay, so we've got the idle state for the NPC here. We do need some sort of... We do have a entity collidable... We have a straight up AABB collision, or we have our kind of 3D perspective collision for our entity class. So we could add that here, but it would need to be, gosh, I feel like we can't just put it in the entity class, because we need to detect if we've been hit or hurt, or yeah, we can't put it in the entity class, because then we're trying to... Okay. What we can do is we can call the map object collides, because this is the one that gives us the little bit of leeway on our character's like head and everything for the collisions. So like if you look at us walking in front of the fence here, we can walk and collide, or we can overlap with the fence. So we shifted our hitbox a bit, or yeah, for that, so we can walk kind of in front of things. And then this one is tight, this one's tight, this one's tight, and then only the top is kind of shifted. So we kind of want something similar with the NPC here, where we can walk in front of the NPC like this, but we would want to be stopped, And then currently the way we're rendering the collisions here is based on the tile ID. So if we look at when we're doing that and try to mimic it, like our NPC is a totally different atlas than our global master sheet. So we're not actually taking any collidable map objects from this global, or from the NPC sheet. But let me see if we're doing a collide map object. Yeah, I think just the top hitbox detection is lower than what the entity is rendering at. So it is a little bit different function for our player, at least. I don't know how that's going to go about if we want the NPCs to walk in front of trees and stuff. Oh, and you know what? No, I think it's defined in our entity class. So our enemies are entities and our player is an entity. So I think they would all have that same collision logic. I'm looking for when we do this collidable map objects right here. Oh, shit. Okay, yeah, we do this weird. Okay, so when do we check our collidable map objects? We cycle through all our collidable map objects. We cycle through, take each object. If we're colliding with them, we move our position. So I think we want something like this, but with the entity, with the NPC, each NPC. NPCs are same little humans. Yeah, they're all the same. They will have all the same entity collision hitbox stuff. But we would want to do something like this in our... Would it be in our... Okay, I guess we would do it here, actually. Yeah, we would do it here in our scene. I think that makes sense. Let's leave a little note here called that NPC collision. Let me just shoot. Yeah, map object is kind of a weird way to to say that, but so basically what we're doing here is just detecting a collision with our NPC, and depending on what type of collision it is, we're just moving our player back to the position where they wouldn't be colliding with them anymore. So if it's a right collide, we're going to move it to the left side of the NPC. Trying to get better at touch typing, so I'm trying not to look down. In your game, there's only one function that moves entities. Yeah, ours. Yeah, see, mine is not like that. Mine, and I'm still trying to figure out what is a decent way. Right now, we're moving our entities based on the direction they're facing, which is probably not good at all. Oh, it's NPC. I don't like the magic numbers in here, but it's weird because I didn't want to put like a global, I don't know. It's just, that exists in our scene, which there's a scene and there's a map. The scene holds the reference to the current map as well as the next map. But our current map, we should, let's see what our current map. Oh gosh. Is literally, okay. So it's not, okay, what we would need to do is the global map at the map row map column for this. So let's go to our NPC collision. This would be the global map, map row map column. Is that how it is? Yeah. Well, we're only shifting, actually. Yeah, we would want to move, we're not moving the player, we're only moving or we're not moving the NPC, we're only moving the player, I believe, here. But yeah, that is something I'm trying to figure out too, which is like the geckos can kind of push us off screen, which probably shouldn't be able to happen. I have not fixed that yet. Gosh, okay, we need all of these current maps to be our global map at our map row map call. Okay. Oh, it's not self not map, it is just map. Okay. Son of a bitch. Scene 202. Map row map call. Shit, man. Man, I just screwed that up, didn't I? Yeah. Dude, no, I get that. I'll show you in 1 second here. I'll show you what happens when we put like, well, actually the entities right now I don't have colliding with one another. So if we put like 800 entities, they just kind of walk all over each other. But that's partly to avoid what you're talking about, which is like where they get all muddy and messed up in there. That stuff is really tough. Because if you have the AABB collision, well, your 3D collision is way different than that, but come on, man, what's going on? I'm going crazy here. What is the self map? Oh, it's not call, it's column. Son of a bitch. Okay. Let's take all of our calls. And, oh, give me a break. Okay. Map call. And we'll replace with map column. Okay, please work. Okay. Okay, cool. Now we cannot walk through our entity, our NPC. Now this, oh, you know what? That is technically correct. We might want to give a little bit of grace here for the left and right side because our entity doesn't go all the way to the right side. I don't get why are my feet going lower here? My head should be bobbing and my feet should not. That is so weird. Why did we do that? That is so wrong. It must be having to do with the rounding, the Y position error. Yeah, I don't know why that's happening. Let me see if... It looks like we're the same player Y. That is so weird, because look, the bottom of our feet is flush with the top of the trail there, but if we let go, our feet move down 1 pixel to be into the trail. That is weird. That is so wrong. Oh, that is so weird. I really need to fix that, but I don't even know where to start with that. Let's give it a bit. Let's move it. If we collide with them, we're gonna move our player, I guess. Oh, this. We can't really change it unless we make a collides with NPC object. We'll just leave it for now. It is like. It's our fault because when we drew this NPC, we left a little gap there. So like, there's like a little bit of a 1 pixel space here where we can't walk into. So we can either scoot it and give him a bigger back of head, let's try to go to our NPC idle state and just change. Let's update this to be a new direction every second or so. So let's just give ourselves a counterclockwise direction here. And if we start them facing down, counterclockwise would be right first, then up, then left, then down. Come on, dude. Come on, man. Come on, you got it. You got it. There we go. Okay, clockwise directions. Okay, so let's have a timer here. Just to test and make sure it's working right. So we'll say if the timer's greater than. Actually, we gotta update it first. Now we should be updating. Yeah, we are updating each NPC, so this should work. We update timer by delta time. If timer is greater than 1 second, then we want to increment. We basically want to change our animation to be whatever the next direction is. So we need to hold on to. Yeah, I guess we have to hold on to a direction index. And we'll say, yeah, maybe we'll say that this is actually starting down. Okay. Direction index is 1. We start facing down and our index is down. So we're going to say if the timer is greater than 1, what we want to do is increment our direction index. And then we want to change animation to be still the same idle state, but we want to concatenate it with actually change animation. Yeah, change animation to a 2-string self dot direction. But okay, so instead of self dot direction, we can say we want this clockwise directions table at the direction index. And then we need to loop the index if it's past the 4th value. So we're changing our animation to idle at the next direction index, which will become whatever direction we need to concatenate with idle, as long as we have the tag right here. And then we need to do something here where we need to say if the direction index is greater than 4, then we reset it back to 1. And then increment it. I guess we would do that after we increment it. So now that we're updating our idle state, I'm hoping every 1 second we just change which direction he's facing. And then where was that? NPC idle state 7. Yeah, it is not grid-based. Yeah, it isn't grid-based. NPC 21, 21, 21. We need to close this. Okay. All right, he's in a tornado. Okay, we didn't flush our timer. If our timer's greater than 1, we need to reset our timer back to 0. Holy shit, that was funny. Okay. Nice. So we cannot collide with our NPC anymore. We're able to change his position in an idle state. So then we that was wild. That was wild. So now what we would do is basically say, like, now that we basically want to say, like, well, one thing I do want to fix is that he starts facing down. Oh no. Oh, so yeah, we need to face him down first so he doesn't skip facing down. In our map declarations for our NPC, we should have it here. We want to be facing down. Okay. So we shouldn't skip the other direction. Okay, cool. I think I'll probably have pretty stupid NPC logic, because like we could add all of this fancy, like, collision detection and pick a random direction and walk and all that stuff, but dude, that's the biggest thing I'm worried about in this game is the dialogue system. Like, I'm a little worried about that. We'll have to dig into it soon. Yeah. Heck yeah, dude. This is cool. Okay, so we've got this guy. Let's just test changing it to the walk state. Now, we should probably move this over to another frame. Let's move it up 1 because this is like wide open spaces, Dixie Chicks. So if we do that, then we can test him walking in different directions and stuff. So let's put him in that map above us. Now, ideally, we would have a little function that says just paste in the scene you want him in, and it'll go ahead and populate the state machines and change the state. We can turn that into a function, but right now we don't have it. So let's just try to put that NPC in one map above us, and then we'll go to our spawn and also put us one scene above. Oh shit. Player 2. Oh no. We messed up. Yeah. It's not 7-2, it's actually 6-2. Oh, 6-3. That should be it. 6-3. Oh god. Okay. Let's do this. Oh man, shit. We need to do the escape character. Okay, and then substitute with shit. 6. Shit. Oh my gosh. This is ridiculous. How do we do this in Vim? 7. Two. We want to change this to 6-3. Gosh, it would have been easier to just manually type them all. God damn it. Okay. It's hard because the square brackets are like forbidden characters for the replace in Vim, but gosh, this is so bad. Yeah, we do need to functionalize this so we don't have to do this mess every time we want to move an NPC from one screen to another. Okay. And he's gone. We put him on 6-3. Let's make sure 6-3 is the right freaking page. 6-2. God damn it. Not 6-3. Okay. Okay. What's up, Magnetonics? How's it going, dude? We've got our first like NPC. Oh, great. We're no longer able to stop collision with them, which I wouldn't think is the case. Okay. Oh, are you saying for me or what? Nice, Magnetonics. Good job. We just had the collision detection working for this guy, but I'm not seeing. I think it's in our scene. Yeah, NPC, and we're going through our self-map.row in our scene. Okay. Okay. You know what? The I think yeah, I think this is wrong. I think we need our map self.map column. Okay, I think we need this. Well, we are doing the self.map column. Yeah, self.map row, self.map column. How come our collision is wrong? Or like we're able to walk over him now? See, like that's wrong. His feet shouldn't be coming up. His head should be going down when he's walking, just like it is when you're walking. His head's bobbing down, but when you tap it, his feet don't move down, or his feet move up. That's so weird. So why is our collision busted? Oh, we might not be putting him into the correct table in our map declarations. 6.2, no, we put him there. And we say 6.2 NPC. Okay. Now it knows he's in there. It knows he's at the 6-2 map because it's rendering him in there. Like it knows he's in this 6-2 map, but what isn't happening is that his collision in the scene is not working against our player. So in our scene, we're looping through all the NPCs in our current map row and map column. This might be, well, there's only one here, so this should still be happening though, because we didn't change anything. This is weird. Let's try doing this. At 7-2 again. Yep. Okay, yeah, what is the difference here? We're not colliding with them here. Let's try putting them on 7-3 and see if we can collide with them over there. That is so weird. Why is it only... It's only the scene we're currently in? What the heck? So if we change our player spawn to be 7-3, do we have collision then? Yes. Okay, so it's only working... Okay, so I think we need to do the collision not based on the... That is weird. Because it works if he's in the same scene as us when we start it, but... Yeah, Prosto. I mean, I don't know what's going on, Prosto. I mean, I think it's with the if we look at in our scene, we're pulling NPC collision for the map self.map_row. So I think this self.map_row isn't getting updated correctly if we're on a different page. So like I'm curious if we were to print this up. Yeah, it's not updating. Well, oh shit. Oh, what the fuck? He's still over here. He's in, yeah, so since the self map row isn't updating when we change scenes, he's going to be in the same spot on every scene. Yeah, okay. So that is part of the problem. Cuz it still thinks he's here, but I don't get why he wouldn't be rendered. Or he's not rendered because he's not in the current map.row. So it's got to be something in our scene, I think. How come we should be updating our scenes? We should be updating this upon a scene transition. Yeah, I think we're just not updating this. I think I remember this problem in the past. Do we have our transitions in here? Yeah, okay. Okay, so I think right here we need to set ourselves. Okay. All we need to do is set, oh gosh. We used to almost have this. But what we need to do is set our map row and map column to be the updated map upon a finishing transition. So we're going to say, okay, you do your thing. We're going to set our scenes map row to be the current map row. And now this depends on which direction we triggered a shift. So we should probably do this only upon the shift left or shift right, anything like that. So I think, yeah, where we do a event listener for, oh, here, this is what we want. Okay. So we just need to update our map row and map column based on the transition so that that gets updated properly. So if we walk left, then our next map gets this self.map row. So we wouldn't need to change the map row, but we would need to change our map column to be -1. And then if it's right, our row is fine, but our column would need to be +1. And then up, our column is fine, but our row needs to be -1. And +1. Okay, so we should have map row 7. This should stay 7, but he's gone now because it's actually this should go down to 6 now. Shit. Well, I'm confused because it fixed like, oh god. Shit. Oh, we messed this up. Okay, let's pray. Okay. He's collidable and he up here. Okay, it changed to 6 now. Okay. So now it should be fine. We should be able to put him on a screen that we're not spawning at and have it be fine. So let's go back. Let's go put us at 7-2. Actually 6-2. Actually, no. We'll keep it 7-2 because we want to place him in the scene above us and make sure his collision is still working. So if we go to our map declarations and we put him in 6-2. Is that right? Yeah, 6-2. Okay. Oh, that was weird. Why did we fuck up there? What is going on there? Why do we get all shifted all weird? Okay, well, we got the collision there, but what the hell's going on when we... Okay, well, I can't get it to be consistently messed up. Let's go back to our scene and just delete this rendering debug here. That's a bug we should have had fixed a while ago. I don't know how that snuck by us. Okay. All right. Okay, so we've got an idle state and a walk state for this guy. We aren't triggering his walk state yet, but let's try to trigger it. We'll go into his idle state, NPC idle state, and we're just gonna say, instead of changing your direction, actually, yeah, let's change your direction based on this timer, but let's say as a test we have a walk timer. And we're gonna just increment it. And then we're just gonna see if our walk timer is greater than, let's say, after 3 seconds, then we want to change our entity state. Is it change state like that? Change state to NPC walk, something like that. Change state, I think that's right. Let's try that. Sweet. He fucked up like the direction he was supposed to go, but that's because we're not actually, yeah, that would make sense. He should have only walked down no matter what. Yeah. Okay, so we need to kind of, we could let's take a look at our NPC walk. Oh, see how the walk state takes in an entity, so I think we need to give... How do we do that? Oh, gotcha. I'm not understanding how we say that NPC init gets this entity, but we're not giving it this. Oh no, we give it the entity upon the init. Oh, so it's just the direction we give it initially. So let's set. We'd want to set. Oh crap. Yeah, we don't. I think we don't want to set the direction here. Let's see if that changes it. He still walks down. Oh, nice. RGB, are you a fellow Love2d programmer? Welcome in. Yeah, this is the last thing I'm trying to finish up tonight. We've got our NPC for the first time. We got him triggering from an idle state to a walk state, but his direction is wrong. And I'm not sure why, because it should take whatever his direction currently is and walk whatever that direction he's currently facing. But he just only walks down. Now, I think that's because when we make him, we give a direction down. Let's try direction left and see if he defaults left every time. Yeah, and then he would skip the down. Okay, yeah. That is weird. I get why he skipped facing down, but I don't get why he only ever resorts to his initial direction here. How would we... Okay, because this is interesting, because this is like the entity, by the time we make it, we're giving it that direction, and that's the direction it kind of pieces here. So we need to be able to say that the... Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Nice. RGB, I'll shoot you a follow. I'm always into other Love2d programmers, so I'm curious to see what you're up to. But yeah, it's like the whenever we make the entity, we're setting it based on the initted. Hey, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'll check out your stuff. I'm curious. We need to be able to like pass in. We need to set the direction not based on the initialized entity's direction, but if we could... Gosh, I don't know how to do this. Because the direction is fine. We're changing... Oh, actually, yeah, we aren't changing the direction. We're just changing the direction index. Okay, so this is making sense. So let's go back. We'll keep this in here, but we need to actually change the direction of our... Not just the animation, but the actual direction. We want to say the entity's direction now gets whatever our direction index is. Okay, I'm hoping that fixes it. Shit. He just stopped. I don't know what vivid stasis is. I'll have to check it out. Yo, why is he not walking now, though? It's so weird. Yeah, we're not updating the direction, but when we do update the direction, oh, it's a number. It's a number. Shit. So we need to set it. Okay, we need to set it here. Okay, that should do it. Now he should be able to trigger any direction. Nice. Okay, cool. That's cool. Okay, so one thing I do, we'll make him start We'll go to the map declarations and we'll just make him start down so that his clockwise direction isn't messed up. So he should just start facing down. Oh god. Down, down. Okay. Cool. So he'll just... He starts an idle. Idle is just him circling, and then he'll change to walk. Okay, so we've successfully got 2... Yeah. Hey, I do play piano. I want to figure out... So just how we've got, like, Jimmy Cam here, I could turn it over to show the piano, and I can make another scene on OBS that changes it to piano. But I don't have the ability just yet to put the audio from the piano into the stream. I should, around the house, I probably should have that cord. You know, it'll probably have to be a 1/4-inch jack into XLR, but I probably have one of those. So I could do that. I don't know a ton of songs. I just know a couple. You know, I took lessons for 2 years and then self-taught whatever song I kind of wanted to learn. No, yeah, I won't. I would give it the real audio. So if I can figure out the real audio, maybe we'll do a little break. You know, we can have a piano cam and I can turn Jimmy Cam, face it over to the piano, and then we'll have the piano audio. So I can test that out and then see if I'm feeling confident enough to play for stream every once in a while. Because it'd be nice to kind of take a eyeball break from looking at code. But this is big. So thank you, Prosto, for suggesting these different states, because that's definitely the way to do it. And then now our logic isn't mixed up with the Gecko entity logic and everything. So this is huge. We've got our NPC. Now I'm kind of curious if he'll walk and push us off, right? Yeah. So that probably shouldn't be able to happen, but we also need to de-instantiate him when he's off screen. So we won't do that tonight, but we will leave us a note to do that. So we will need to do... Where do we do this? You can say... But the NPCs, well, I guess some NPCs will go off screen, so we should definitely add that. And we actually did this already. So what we do want to do also is have a sort of counterclockwise, you know, we want him to turn a direction, wait, take a step forward, wait, turn a direction, wait, take a step forward, wait, and kind of just have like a little state change thing where he's just kind of walking and stopping and walking and stopping. And then if we have that, we'll be able to add any NPC and give it that same sort of idle stuff. You know, I mean, so the thing is with that is just that it's just so hard to give it the proper amount of keys and everything. So that's kind of why I was thinking that the lute was more appropriate for that. Because it's really hard to write good songs on piano without more than like 12 keys, right? Like, I don't know. I just think, I don't know. Maybe we can work on maybe a piano mini game as to go with our lute one, but we'll see. Let's see here. That's fun. We'll have to have a stream where we write a lute song or something. Write our first lute song. That should be cool. Spoke more about real playing, comparing what you would play. No, I would say strings. I would say string is more expressive because you have more dimensions of expression. Because with a piano, you have the dynamics, like how hard you hit it, but you don't have any variance in. I mean, you've got the damper pedal or whatever, but I'm thinking of like a guitar where you can kind of like wiggle the string as you play it or whatever, or like a violin where you can give it that vibrato, which on top of the dynamics and on top of all the other notes, it just gives you more layer of expression. So I would say that piano in my eye is not the most expressive, but the master pianists, like if you listen to Claire de Lune played by like the expert pianist, like that, when you listen to that, that's insanely expressive. yeah Piano is like the only instrument where you can hit almost every note all at once. yeah it depends. Like I think the highest level of piano playing is very, very expressive, and it rivals any other instrument for sure. But for normies, I think it's not as expressive. Okay, so we changed quite a bit of stuff. Let's take a look at our changes. We gave ourselves an NPC table, and our map is now updating all our NPCs and rendering all our NPCs. Then we took out our entity definitions for our X and Y position because we don't want to hard code every entity instantiation at the same place. So we are taking that out so we can put any new NPC at a specific point. And then we fixed a bug that we didn't realize we had with our maps, our scenes map column and map row. So we fixed that. We gave ourselves NPC collisions so that our player cannot walk through the NPC. We gave ourselves 2 new classes, an idle state for our NPC and an NPC walk state. And then our idle state is just changing directions. And then after a certain amount of time, it turns into walk state, which just walks its ass off screen. So that is pretty good. We will commit with a message saying that we added NPC idle and walk states and added global NPC tables for rendering, updating and rendering. And then I'll say NPC collisions with player. Okay, sweet. All right, well, hey, thanks for watching, everybody. We will raid out to someone here. I'm going to see, I'd like to raid out to another person programming. So we'll take a look. I don't see many online right now. We'll see if Hypnotic has a nice chill stream, but it looks like he's doing not so much programming. Let's see about practical. Let's see here. He doesn't look to be programming either. I'll check the team. I'll check anyone on the stream team. I need to bookmark this so I can pull it up faster, but I don't know who this Finn is fine. They look like they're playing a game. Basie's on. Maybe we'll raid out to Basie because it looks like he might have just got started here. No, he's going on 3 hours. Okay. Well, here, we'll raid out to Basie. He's a cool dude. Give him a follow if you are not and are interested, but we'll raid out. Thanks for hanging, y'all. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll get some more stuff done. Hopefully we'll have we might just start another NPC now that we've got the class. Yeah, take care, Prosto. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for the advice. Appreciate it. Peace out. Have a good night.